Well, I'm standing kind of up high because I'm on a hill and I'm in a neighborhood called Pleasant Hill that was developed after the Civil War back in, say, 1879. Now, Pleasant Hill has an interesting history because it was not premium land. It was not land that anybody wanted. But because of its proximity back during the time, black folks in many instances worked for white families and they wanted to be near where they worked. So they kind of gravitated to this area, but which was not opportune, it was not nice. And a lot of the majority of families did not want to live here. But you know how creative and industrial African Americans are. So in spite of all of the factors that may have contributed to people not wanting to live here because of this hilly, black folk developed this area and flourished. You had doctors and you had lawyers and incidentally, talk about Blackenomics, most of it was built by African American contractors, brickmasons, carpenters, plasterers, and what have you. So the interesting thing about Pleasant Hill is that everybody lived here, in spite of economic status. The doctors lived. They said the doctors lived on some streets, and then the mail carriers lived on other streets, and you would live on the street according to the occupation that you had. But it really flourished. And I'm old enough to remember how sometimes the principal or the teacher would live next to a shotgun house. But this was Pleasant Hill. It's well respected. It's well liked. And guess what? It's on the National Register of Historic Places because of when it was built and the kind of development that happened here. But guess what? Like in many other communities, the interstate ran straight through Pleasant Hill, ran straight through this black neighborhood and kind of upset it. Although you had grocery stores and businesses and professionals and what have you. So it kind of went down as a result of the interstate coming straight through it. But thankfully, there are efforts now to regenerate Pleasant Hill and to acknowledge the history of Pleasant Hill and the kind of advancement and the influence that it has had on our community. So I thought it would not be robbery as a part of Blackenomics to mention Pleasant Hill because of its significance as it relates to the development of the African American community. And this is not the only neighborhood in the country where you had these kinds of factors. So what we need to do, what we need to understand, is we need to be familiar with all of the different neighborhoods across the country. And we need to be familiar with the fact that we need to regenerate it, we need to acknowledge it, and we need to develop, neighborhoods where we can all live together and where we can all support each other, where we can support the African American businesses and other businesses throughout the community. So what we need to do is to come down, if I don't fall, is to come down off the hill, but yet not forget what happened here in Pleasant Hill and not forget the role that it played in the development of our community and not forget the individuals who lived here, the professionals and regular everyday working people and the domestics who lived here but tried to live the kind of life where they could be meaningful and good citizens and play a role in the development of our community. See you next time.